Arvind Kejriwal. This name started hitting the newspapers and magazines in the early 2000s. He was touted as this emerging activist fighting governmental corruption. Kejriwal's name entered the drawing rooms of Delhi after he was awarded the Raymond Magsaysay Award in 2006. Since then, his rise has been unprecedented. He rode the anti-corruption wave against the UPA government by joining himself with Anna Hazare. He founded the Aam Aadmi Party in 2012 and is today the Chief Minister of Delhi. For a political party to rise to power, it is important to have a convincing ideology and a people's movement. For example, the Congress Party emerged against British colonialism and eventually became a vehicle of the international movement. The BJP as we know it today was founded in 1980 based on the principles of civilizational nationalism, spearheading a series of movements for the Ram Mandir, abrogation of Article 370 and so on, while simultaneously fighting the pseudo-secularism and dynastic politics of the Congress. The AAP on the other hand has no strong ideological objectives. While one can associate the AAP with the India Against Corruption movement, the reality is that it hitchhiked on another man's clean image and personality. Yet the party has seen a tremendous rise in a short span of time. How has this been possible? There is a larger design behind Kejriwal's rise that remains hidden in plain sight. In 2000, Kejriwal along with his friend Manish Sisodia started an NGO named Parivartan with the help of Transparency International and Medha Patkar of the Narmada Bachao Andolan. And in 2002, Kejriwal's NGO started receiving foreign funds from institutions abroad. One of them was Ford Foundation. In 2004, he became an Ashoka Fellow. Guess who funds Ashoka? Ford Foundation. In 2006, Kejriwal received the Raymond Magsaysay Award, which is also patronized by the Ford Foundation. Now, the Ford Foundation is a problematic organization. In 2015, the government of Gujarat, while investigating Teesta Setalwad's embezzlement case, came across funding by Ford Foundation to her entities. It is also linked to the USA's Central Intelligence Agency or the CIA, which has been documented in a number of articles and books. A 2001 article titled "The Ford Foundation and the CIA," written by an American professor named James Petras, states that the CIA uses philanthropic foundations as the most effective conduit to channel large sums of money to agency projects without alerting the recipients to their source. British journalist and historian Francis Stoner Saunders, in his 1999 book Who Paid the Piper? The CIA and the Cultural Cold War, states that CIA considers foundations such as Ford the best and most plausible kind of funding cover. Apparently, these so-called prestigious institutions allowed the CIA to fund a seemingly limitless range of covert action programs affecting youth groups, labor unions, universities, publishing houses, and other private institutions. In fact, the CIA's own declassified documents reveal how Ford Foundation was part of its operations. The declassified files of CIA also reveals the links between Ford Foundation and the Magsaysay Award. Now let's connect the dots. Arvind Kejriwal rises to prominence with an NGO funded by Ford Foundation, becomes a fellow of the organization funded by Ford Foundation, and gets an award funded by the Ford Foundation. Isn't that too much of a coincidence? Here's more. Kejriwal and Sisodia's another NGO named Kabir had also received funding from Ford Foundation, which has been criticized by someone of their own ilk.
It is in some ways an NGO-driven movement. Kiran Bedi, Arvind Kejriwal, Sisodia, all these people run NGOs. Three of the core members are Magsaysay Award winners, which is endowed by Ford Foundation and Rockefeller. And I wanted to point to the fact that what is it about these NGOs funded by World Bank or Ford and so on? Why are they participating in sort of mediating what public policy should be? World Bank, Ford Foundation, these people are all involved in increasing the penetration of international capital. You know, certainly Anna Hazare was picked up and propped up as the sort of saint of the masses, but he wasn't driving the movement. You know, he wasn't the brains behind the movement.
This should explain Kejriwal's phenomenal rise from a middle-class government servant to the chief minister. The entire Jan Lokpal movement against corruption that was supposedly spearheaded by Anna Hazare prima facie looks engineered by external agencies to place their own man on the seat of power. Now that is a serious national security threat. Hence, it is pertinent to ask, whose interests is Kejriwal really serving in the name of the Aam Aadmi?